one of the questions that people might ask, why are these tests important? The SAAT اللي هو التحصيلي and the GAT, which is القدرات in English. Why are these tests important? يعني what's so unique about them? As you might already know, most of the universities, especially in, of course, Saudi Arabia, they rely on the scores of these tests in their admission criteria. They not only rely on them, they actually give these tests the higher percentage, the higher weight, okay, in the admission decision of the students. Therefore, it is extremely important that the student pays attention during secondary school, not only on the school GPA, but also particularly on the GAT and SAAT scores. So these two tests might be even higher weight than the school GPA itself. And that's why I strongly recommend that you pay extra attention to these, especially if you are in second or third years. There are also some of the unique admission tests, like I alluded before. Aramco has some, for example, some tests that they particularly request, as well as some other universities like King Faisal University. They have special tests for medicine majors and so on. Let me give you an example. This might have changed a little bit, but it's more or less the same, I believe. This is the admission weighted admission decision for KFUPM. Okay, يعني KFUPM النسبة الموزونة or the weighted score is like this. It's 40% SAT اللي هو التحصيلي and 50% GAT. يعني أنت you work 3 years only 10%. 3 years in secondary school only counts for 10%. You can get 100%. But if you don't do a good job, okay, زي ما احنا نقول بتعبيرنا جبت العيد طيب في GAT أو في SAT, then you will reduce your chances big time. Now this might be changed from year to year, but it's more or less the same for so many years. يعني only a few changes, 1%, 10%, 5%. لكن لاحظ 90% on these tests. So it's extremely important that we pay attention to these tests. يعني they are really detrimental to our academic future. Now there is an additional a challenge, if I may say, for students who are in the international schools, or those who have يعني their language is English mainly. So if they want to take a القدرات test or a التحصيلي test, they have the option, of course, to take it as GAT or SAAT, but these are real problems, يعني real obstacles. There are lack of sources and lack of courses. Sources, I mean books. If you go to Jarir, you see a lot of قدرات books in Arabic, but in English, you will only see few, and we will show you the books in Jarir shortly. Same with the courses. Everybody now teaches قدرات in Arabic, but you go to find not only GAT courses, but quality GAT courses that really help you improve your score. They are very, very limited. And that's why you guys have an extra responsibility. And I know that you are very responsible. You are very responsible, very mashallah alaykum. Yani the fact you come here, you did not choose to go and watch a game or rest or whatever. It shows that you have very good sense of ownership and responsibility. So try to find good courses and good sources for the preparation. Now, in our course, we have two trainers that I believe are the best to cover these two topics, the verbal and the quantitative. And we have, first of all, Mr. Hassan Al-Hadab, who has a master's degree in mathematics from Indiana University. He has also been a certified trainer for many, many years. In fact, he has more than 10 years of experience in teaching qiyas tests. I know for a fact that he is selected particularly to teach the gifted students as well. Even in يعني, high-level government programs, he has a very unique edge in that one. Also, موهبة courses, يعني, mashallah. My kids have personally benefited a lot from Mr. Hassan Al-Hadab, and I would like to thank him for that. For the verbal section, Mr. Hassan Al-Hadab is handling the mathematics or the quantitative section. For the verbal section in the test, we have Ms. Fatima Saif, who also has a master's degree, but in educational leadership from the University of Dundee. She is also a certified trainer, and I know that she has more than 13 years of experience in education, not only in education, in English education and in education leadership. She has been a leader in education for many, many years. So I'm going to now give the mic to my colleague, Mr. Hassan Al-Hadab, to speak about the GAT test. I will take over maybe later to speak about the rest of the presentation. I give the mic now to Mr. Hassan. Hassan, are we there?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
عليكم السلام. تفضل حسن.
مساء الخير جميعا. Good evening everyone, and welcome to this presentation about preparing for GAT. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad, for all this wonderful introduction. If you can hear me, please type 1 for everybody in chat so I can just continue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll take you in a little walk about the GAT section, the quantitative section. Okay. First, about the test, it has 2 sections. Well, first is the quantitative and the verbal section. So I'm going to talk about the quantitative section. The test is over. It has been over like for the English section, the English version, to be all year as a computerized based test, which is CBT. Okay. And there is 1 chance each year for paper-based test. Okay, there is a chance each year for paper-based test. So that means if you want to take the test, if you start from the grade 11 and grade 12, you have 5 chances to take the test. Okay, the most you can take 4 chances in CBT, and you can take 1 chance in paper-based test, or you can take 3 chances in CBT and 1 chance in, and 2 chances in PBT. Now, the thing is, even after you graduate, 1 year after you graduate, you can also take the GAT test 1 chance. The thing is, like for the paper-based test, okay, tomorrow, qiyas is going to open for registration. Tomorrow, the registration for the paper-based test. As we know so far, that is going to be only in Arabic, but I advise you tomorrow to log in to qiyas, your account, and double check if there is a English version for the PBT. Okay, so you can have 1 chance this year. Okay, so if you can't take it in Arabic, that means you only have 4 chances. Okay, also the duration of the test for both sections, it's almost 2.5 hours from you enter the center till you leave. Okay. Now, as for the quantitative section, it's not really hardcore math. It's about some abilities, as they call it, mental abilities in arithmetic, geometry, algebra, and analyzing some data. Okay. So if you can see the distribution of the problems in the test are, most of the test is about arithmetic. Okay, so this is too important. It's like 1/3, more than 1/3 of the test is about arithmetic. There is 18% of comparison questions, statistical and analytical problems, and geometry. All of them is 18%. And there is a little of algebra, which is 10%, okay, of the test. And if you've been taking the course with me, I've done all the sections without going through algebra. So even the problem that has to be done doing algebra, we've done them in a different way, either using arithmetical symmetrics. Okay, so this is too important to know about the section of the test. So when you want to study, you can know that I have to know arithmetic is the most important section, and algebra it's not really the core of the test. As for the verbal section, I believe Mr. Muhammad is going to talk about the verbal section. Just a quick overview. It's about analogy, sentence completion, the odd one out, and reading comprehension. Okay, and let me just go for some tips. If you're taking the test, you have to think before you start the test, like when you're studying, and during studying, and during taking the test. Okay, during the test. So the idea is it's not about thinking only during the test, it's just before taking the test and during studying, okay, and also during taking the test. First, like the first thing you should do is to take a complete review of questions of all tests, as we call them in Arabic, تجميعات. So تجميعات is either from a textbook, okay, or from the internet, or you can go to many students are there in Telegram, and you find there like many تجميعات, and no تجميعات just comes every day. So first you have to be familiar with the test. This is the first thing. Second thing, when you know this, you see there are like some formulas you have to memorize. When we say that some formulas you have to memorize, like they're not many, but once you know them and you know how to use them and you memorize them, once you see the problem, it's just like you don't have to do anything, just apply the formula and you're done. Okay, so this is important. Okay, also you have since the test is a MCQ test with 4 choices, and there is no penalty for leaving any problem for wrong answer. Sorry, there is no penalty for wrong answer. So it's important to not leave any questions unanswered. Just make guess. This is too important. Also, when you're studying, you have to look for the choices, and you'll see that sometimes you can eliminate 1 or 2 choices. Okay, so this is too important. One thing you have to know when you're studying, and I always advise students to this is the most important one. This is not a math test. It's not a math test. So there is no lengthy computation for problems. Most of them, as I can also say, almost all of them. Okay, why this is too important? Because there are like 2 things you have to consider. One, no one care about the steps you're doing in the test. They only care if you choose A, B, C, or D. Second, we have to save time, isn't it? Time is important. Okay, so since time is important, many of the problems, if I know how to do them in a quick way, I know some tricks. So most of the problems, let's say more than half of them, I can do them just fast and I can save time. Also, so I can save time by knowing that there is no lengthy computation is required. Also, keep in mind, if you get a quick review and a good review for all the problems, if you memorize the formulas, if you know how to look for the choices and take out the bad ones, if you know the answer, just do it. Choose the correct answer. You don't have to go through calculations. You'll see some of the problems, once you know the idea, they're like just the quick ones. You can just pick the answer without any calculation. So this is too important. If you see the answer and you know this is the answer, just do it. Why? Because we have to save time. So these steps are important. It's before the test, during studying, and also during the test, you have to focus on this one. Also, let's just take this 8 minutes to go through some problems from تجميعات and see what we can do. Okay, so here is a problem about percent. So percent is a common problem in this test. So the question is saying a price of a TV in 1970 increased by 300% in 1980. The price of the 1980 model TV increased by 200% in 1990. By what percentage did the price increase from the 70s to 90s? So this problem here, it seems to be complicated, too many steps, but if we know how to do it, if we know what's the idea behind the problem, it's going to be easy. So first, since they're telling me the price has been changed by a percent, either it's an increase or decrease, I have to know one thing. If I want to find the new price, so this is important, I have to know this. If I'm looking for a new price, I have to multiply the original price by this. It's 100 over 100, okay? It's either plus or minus the percent. Plus mean increase, which is this one. Minus mean decrease. Easy? So if I'm looking for the new price, I have to multiply the original price by 100 plus or minus the percent of increase or decrease, plus with increase, minus with decrease over 100. Okay? So let's just do this one for the first line here. So the first line here, it says the price, it just increased by 300. Okay? So the idea here, this is an increase. So I know with percent, we usually start with what? Start with 100. If we don't have the original price, we start with 100. So I'll start with 100 and I multiply it with 100 over 100. Since this is an increase, so it's plus, and the percent of increase is 300. So this is the first thing for the problem. Now, also, if I know the trick, I'll see here the price of the 90s, which is the new price of the 70s, now has been also increased. Okay. So there is another increase for the new price to become another new price. Okay. So I just do it like this one. I just multiply. It's 100 over 100. And look, since there is an increase, so this is a plus. It's plus 200. This one here will give me the new price after increase, okay? But they're asking about the percentage. So if I want to find the percentage, I am actually looking for that one, isn't it? I only need the percent. So here we go. So this is going to be 100 times 400 over 100 times 300 over 100, isn't it? So now I can simplify. Too many zeros there, so I can take this zero with that one. This is with this one. I can take zeros, and my advice also, simplify then multiply. So now I left with 100 times 4 times 3, so this is going to be a 1200, isn't it? Now the 1200 is the new price. This is the new price, isn't it? So if I can write the new price in this form, if I can write the new price in this form, I can find the percentage of increase, isn't it? So I'm going to write this one as 100 plus 100 plus this one, isn't it? Isn't it? Okay, because this is, it should be over 100. Okay, so I need the 100 here just to show you why do I have 100. So this is just to show you there is 100 here, but in this case I don't need it. So now, do you see there is 100 plus this number? So this number here is this one. This one is the percent, and this is the percent. So this is the percent of increase, isn't it? Why? Because there is a plus sign. Since there is a plus sign, it matches with this one. There is an increase, and the increase is 1200. So this is the answer. Okay. So if I know this one here, to find the no price with increase and decrease, I can do this problem easy. Okay. So now if I want to do this problem in a test, I know I have just to multiply 100 by 100 plus 300 times 100 plus 200, and we're done. The answer just have to be put in this form, okay? Which is 100 plus or minus something, okay? Good. I know that. Just see another one. Here is another problem in these 3 minutes. So if I have to compare two numbers, like this, two numbers with exponent. So the idea is I have, for this number, I have a base and a power, isn't it? So the idea is either I have to have the same bases so I can compare the power, or I can have the same power to be able to compare the bases. So I know this is a 3 and this is 81. So I know 3 to the 1 is a 3. 3 squared is 9. 3 to the third is 27. And 3 to the fourth is 28. Okay? So I know this one can be written as 3 to the fourth, 32. And this is the same. This is going to be 3, 128. Now, I have a rule called power of a power. It's called power of a power, isn't it? That means if I have an exponent, a power, then I have another power, I just multiply them. So this one here is going to be 3, 4 times 32, isn't it? And this is going to be 3 to the 128. This one has been, B is still the same. So now what's 4 times 32? 4 times 32 is 128. And this is a 3, 128, isn't it? So now, since I have, in this one, I have the same basis and the same power, so the two values are equal. If I matches the bases, I have to compare the power and see which one is greater. If I matches the power, I have to compare the bases and see which one is greater, okay? Sometimes you have to evaluate some values, okay? So in the test, you don't have calculator. So it's really hard to take 3.8 power 2 minus 1.2 power 2 and da. So the idea is sometimes you have to think differently. This problem is hard to calculate. And even if you can calculate in the test, we've said that we don't need any lengthy computation because we have to save time. So the idea is we have our rule called difference between two squares, isn't it? So if we have a squared minus b squared, this is a plus b times a minus b, isn't it? Oh my God, do you see this is something squared and this is something squared? So this one can be written as, isn't it, 3.8 plus 1.2. I'm going fast a little bit because of time. Sorry for that. So, and this is going to be 3.8 minus 1.2. Do you see it? Because isn't this is just a squared and this is b squared, isn't it? And everything is over 3.8 minus 1.2, isn't it? So now, as we just advised, simplify, then calculate. So now, this one here is the same as that one. So I can cancel them. So I left with 3.8 plus 1.2. So when we add them, we'll get 5. So the answer is B. So the idea of this problem here is that sometimes some of the problem in a school, we used to do them with lengthy computation, but in this test, we have to know some tricks so we can do them fast and easy.
So the verbal section, if you remember from what Mr. Hassan mentioned, we have 5 types of questions. And these might change, by the way. Analogy, meaning checking if the two words, the relationship between the two words. The sentence completion, you'll see a sentence with some blanks. Contextual errors, and then the odd one out, and of course, the reading comprehension. You're presented with a passage and you're supposed to answer questions on this passage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you very quick examples from the first 4 segments, which is, first of all, of course, the analogy. Here, we're supposed to select an option or a choice that has the same relationship as in these 2 words. So letter and word. What is the relationship between letter and word, and which of these 4 has the same relationship? Yalla, show me your answers, guys. Come on. MashaAllah alaykum. So you already picked this one right. Okay, so I have to say, though, I know that this was maybe a little easy question. I'm not like Hassan. Hassan is much smarter. He picked these really challenging ones. But here, I just wanted to show you an example. So don't think that all the verbal questions are as easy as this one. Okay, so let's try one more. After blank, the captain announced that there would be turbulence ahead. Passengers were advised to blank their seats. Yalla, which one is the right answer? What do you think? So you can see your common sense, or some people are saying B. Ah, okay. So why is B not correct? Why is it not correct? Because if you think about it, if you put here take off, okay, my handwriting is not good. Because I'm writing with my mouse, and then you put here leave, you will see that the meaning is very يعني it's very not correct. Okay, it's not stable meaning. Of course, the passengers will not be advised to leave their seats, right? So therefore, B is eliminated. And if you look at the context in the sentence, definitely after the landing, the captain will announce there will be turbulence. Turbulence is usually something that happens in the air. So definitely this is not the case. Also, after arrival is the same meaning. After you arrive, there's no way you're going to be having turbulence in the air. You already arrived. So the only one that could really make some sense is that after takeoff, the captain announced that there will be turbulence ahead. Passengers were advised to remain in. I'm sure you've all heard this from the captains, that you should remain in your seat. You see the seatbelt light on for your safety. So that's another example. Another example is this one. Now, this one is called sentence completion, okay? Whereas this one is called contextual error. One of these words does not make sense. Which one of these words does not make any sense? I mean, if you look at it, you say, oh, okay, everything is fine except for this word. This word is like, no, it doesn't make any sense. So some people said drained. All right, what do you think? The majority are saying D. And from the title of this section, it's called contextual error. What does context mean? Who can tell me, what does context mean? What does context mean? The context is the meaning of the sentence. Good. How can it be full and the drains? Okay, exactly. So you agree that the answer is D. Okay, Osama, we got you. Okay, so after Ra'ad drained, يعني emptied the water, the pool was full. Of course, the pool is not full. If you try to eliminate any of these words, the other words, you will see that you still have contextual problems. So this, you really have to use your common sense and, of course, some good vocabulary. So the answer is D. Okay. Another type of questions, a full section there in the test is called the odd one out. You will see a list of 4 words, and you're supposed to select which one does not belong to the rest of the group. Okay, so mashallah alaikum. Yani you see, you're so good in this, so quick. And I didn't even finish reading the question. So yeah, why? طيب يلا, all of you are writing B. Why is B the correct answer? In other words, the one that doesn't fit. Why is B the correct answer. So Salam says, okay, so it does not have a motor. You see, your comment says, this is a test not of language. This is not a test of language. Exactly. This is a test of your common sense. It's called an aptitude test. So immediately you intuitively found out that, oh, wait a minute, they all have some motors in them, some engine, except bicycle. So bicycle doesn't seem to be part of the group. So it is the odd one out. As I said, these are 4 examples of the 4 sections in the exam. There's fifth section, which is reading comprehension. We will cover all of these, inshallah, when we talk about the test. So one of the questions, already some of you wrote this question: how can I prepare for the GAT test? Now, I want to be clear here. We will give you a very objective answer. Okay, yes, we are a training center, but even if you are not going to take a course with us, listen to this answer very carefully. In my view, there are 3 ways you can learn and prepare for this GAT test. The first one is to use good books. Okay, now I'll be very honest with you. I'm proud of the books we have here, but none of them is perfect. Yani if you look at the I'm going to be very honest. The Qudrat books in Arabic, they are really mature. You will see thousands, maybe at least hundreds of questions that are very recent, very well designed. You can see that the book is extremely rich. You see barcodes where you can watch مثلا the teacher explaining to you. You will see a very rich product. Here, we still didn't reach that level of maturity. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Zama GAT. In my opinion, this is the best out of the 3. However, it is not in the market. You go to Jarir today, they'll tell you it has been out for several months. It might be back soon, I don't know, but it is not available there. But yeah, you can, I think you can purchase it from them directly, but it's not gonna be PDF. You can contact them if you want. And also, this version had a lot of errors. They actually have the error correction in their website. If you happen to find this version, make sure you go back to their website and get the corrections. Best Gate for GAT. It's a good book. I don't think that it is a book that you will rely on it solely. No, you need more than that. This book, the one I have purchased from Jarir, I purchased it from Jarir just a couple of weeks ago. It was 7 years or maybe more, 7 years old, تقريبا 7 or 6 years old. So it only even has 3 out of the 5 sections in verbal. So I really don't recommend this guy because it's too old. If you want something that is comprehensive, this one doesn't have all the sections in the verbal. Okay, so inshallah, maybe one day you will see Leen publishing our own book, and inshallah you will find a better solution there. But now this is what's available. And the other option that you can use for resources is what Mr. Hassan said. You can go to Telegram and you can search for تجميعات. It's not as structured as clear, but it's very, very good source, because you will see a lot of students doing very good efforts to teach you what kind of resources they have. How to prepare for the GAT. Another option is our course, the Leen GAT course, which I will talk about for just a couple minutes if you don't mind. So our course has the following features. It is accredited, معتمد. It is not something that some people just did and without any supervision from the government. So we are معتمدين, we are accredited. The course itself is accredited, also reviewed and approved by the government. Trainers experience, as I said, 10 years plus experience in teaching the gifted in these courses. A question bank, we provide a lot of questions, in fact, hundreds of questions. You have seen some of them already. And we also provide at least one, if not more, mock exams to test your own level. And for early preparation, we already provide those who will register now. They will already start with the math section available. You can from now attend our recorded course. It is, of course, a live course. Later you will attend it. But if you don't want to wait until it is offered, you can start from tonight if you want. For review, we leave all the recorded course. Once you attend the course with us in a couple of weeks, we will keep the recorded course for you. You can attend the course and watch it for yourself. It will be available in our website, in your account. for at least 6 months. Also, we provide طبعا a complete manual that has some good examples, if you don't mind, and I'm gonna maybe show you a little bit of the manual, if you don't mind. Just give me a second. So this is the manual you will be getting. This is the verbal section. It is very well taken care of. You can see the analogy, the types of analogy, and you see tens and tens of questions, and so on and so forth, with the answers and on and so on. And every section will have its own colored code, and you will be able to discuss all the questions with your teacher, inshallah, during the course. I would like also to maybe show you this testimony from one of our students, Leen. If it doesn't work, I probably go back to send it to you. I'll probably send it to you on WhatsApp also for the sake of time. So she has a really nice testimony about our course, and you will see how it benefited her. Now, here is the course information. Please take a screenshot of this if you are interested in the course. The course will be on the 4th of October. It will be 10 days. It will be live and recorded. It will be live. You will attend live, but we will record the lessons, and we will keep them for you for 6 months. You can go back to them, because as Mr. Hassan said, you can try the course, you can try the test multiple times. The fees, we have a discount for you only for 3 days. You can pay only 600. The normal price is 690. If you want to use the discount offer, use this code GAT24, valid for 3 days only. So go ahead and scan or screenshot the screen and apply to the course if you are interested. So now we're going to take 10-15 minutes to answer your questions. We will be alternating myself and Mr. Hassan answering your questions, and until you guys until you guys ask me the questions, please use the chat, of course. Please go ahead and use the chat box to write your questions. So I'm going to read the question, and me or Mr. Hassan will answer it. So Mr. Hassan, be ready.
Yes, I am.
So how much does the course cost? We already covered that. It's 600. Do you think it's a good idea to study from Arabic resources? Mr. Hassan, is it a good idea to prepare for GAT from Arabic resources?
Yes, because like many of the quantitative sections are easy to see the problem, even if it's written in Arabic. And the Arabic تجميعات is like, it's a good تجميعات. And we advise, if you can read in Arabic, yes, prepare from the Arabic sources.
Okay, great. And says if we can make the Zoom meeting longer. We really wish to make it longer. We can take maybe a few more minutes, but usually people prefer the crisp versions. We will try to make available some sections from the course on our YouTube so that you can watch it at a normal speed. Tamrin Amr. Do you offer Arabic GAT courses? You mean القدرات? Yes, we do. It is in our website. What is better, Mr. Hassan, the paper-based or the computer-based? Which one is better?
Many students, they like the paper-based, but the thing is, it's only offered once a year. Okay, so if you're like in the 11th grade, the registration is tomorrow, and it's in Arabic. So you have to be prepared for the test from the 10th grade. And maybe in the summer you have to be prepared so you can take the test. So it needs like a pre-preparation for the test. This is the thing. It's not like all the year, it's just like once a year. So this is the thing about the paper-based. But many students prefer the paper-based.
Right. Is the course for October for 10 days in a row? Yes, it's going to be 10 days in a row. حتى الخميس والجمعة والسبت we will work Friday and Saturday. Will there be more meetings like this in the future? Absolutely. And even this one, we are going to kind of edit the recording, and we will make it available on YouTube. If you stick around in the WhatsApp group, we will share with you the link so that you can share it with your friends, or you can rewatch it again if you want. Okay, how long is the course? It's 10 days. Every day is 2 to 2.5 hours. Yeah, the question, yeah, Ustad Hassan, is there any science section in the test?
The test is 2 sections. It's quantitative and verbal. And the quantitative, it's not a real math course. It's just as we just have seen, it's geometry, algebra, arithmetic. So there is no science in this test. No, I think they're talking about the SAAT test. Maybe Mr. Muhammad, I think
Yes.
some of the students, they're like confused between the GAT and SAAT test.
Yes.
Okay. So
go ahead if you want to explain the difference, please.
Yeah, briefly. Thank you. So the SAAT test, it's after you finish high school. At the end of high school, you're going to take a test in a specific subjects: math, physics, chemistry, biology, in 4 sections. And the test will cover the last 3 years in your study, which is the high school, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. And it's going to be divided by 20% for the 10th grade, 30% for the 11th grade, and 50% for the 12th grade. So the SAAT test it's like the subject test. So if you're going, if you're thinking of SAT, subject test, it's similar to SAAT. GAT is similar to the general test of SAT. It's like math and verbal. Does this? Hopefully this is the brief explanation and making a small differences between them.
Yes, and feel free, guys, to just Google the difference between GAT and SAT. You'll in YouTube, you'll see a couple guys talking about that in more detail. Some people are asking repeated question: will it be enough to only attend the course? What do you think, Mr. Hassan?
Here is the thing. There is no. So this question is like a tricky question. Okay. So sometimes we're asking about like, it's enough to be good for the test without like practicing. No, my advice, you have to practice, to practice, to practice. Sometimes the question is it really enough for the material I'm taking from you? Okay, so the booklet we're going to give you for the both sections, it's full of, will cover all these sections of the test with many problems. Okay, sometimes the question, is it enough for 10 days to take the to be good for the test? Yes, 10 days is enough. So this question, as I said, just a tricky. So my advice, always practice, practice, practice. Okay.
And I second you, والله, Mr. Hassan. يعني my son just did the قدرات, and he attended our course here in the center, but I told him it is not enough. Go and find a good book and practice, because it's not an either or problem. Why don't you do both? We're talking about your future here. طيب, take a book, take these تجميعات from Telegram. Make sure you are selective, because if you take everything, you will be overwhelmed. But yeah, have a little bit of both worlds. Don't just stick. I don't think there is one course that will cover absolutely everything. I don't think that. So the courses will give you the tricks, will introduce you to the course, will give you the ideas, will show you hundreds of questions. But for your future, I recommend that. Like Mr. Hassan said, I think that we need to find other courses. Yeah, is it one-time payment? Yes, it's one-time payment, and it is online, by the way, if you want to take the course. Do you provide تجميعات? We are working صراحة يا جنى على تجميعات. We are trying to find some good تجميعات for you. No promises yet, but stay tuned. We have already, the course material itself has hundreds of questions. A lot of them already came in the previous tests. Do we offer an in-person course? Unfortunately, we do not. طيب. Mr. Hassan, here is a question. Can I take a chance in قدرات Arabic version and another in GAT version?
Yes, and all the tests in qiyas, you have the choice to take the test in either in Arabic or in English. Okay? Because the chances are limited for you and you're going to pay. So you're the one who decide if you want to take it in Arabic or in English. Okay.
Yes. Some questions here about, do you offer the SAAT or Tahsili course in English? Yes, we do. It's already in our website and you can contact us for it. Yara is asking, what is the best time to study for the GAT? Yani, I assume we have the full year. What is the best time, Mr. Hassan, to study for the GAT?
We in high school in 10th grade, we start talking about GAT, which is قدرات for students. And it takes time for them to like and absorb like there is a test is coming, like to understand this. So at the end of the 10th grade, they should be start like a humble start for the preparing for the test. And during summer, after 10th grade, they should be studying. So during the 11th grade, they should finish the test. During the 11th grade, they should be finishing the test with the score they want. Why is that? Because once they get in the 12th grade, there are like too many things are going on. Some of them wants to prepare for the SAAT. Some of them wants to prepare for IELTS or TOEFL IBT. Some of them wants to prepare for other tests for other universities for specific majors. So our advice is at the end of 10th grade, you have to start preparing for the test, GAT. During the 11th grade, you should be done with the test. This is the advice we're giving students.
So that they focus on the other exams in the 12th grade also, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's a question about how can I apply to the course if it's already in your in our WhatsApp group now. The team has already put the announcement there. What does the course focus on, foundation or تجميعات? It actually has a lot of foundation and a lot of تجميعات, yeah. But we don't have conclusive تجميعات. As I said, I still recommend that you find additional sources for your preparation. Okay. طيب. Okay, يقول هنا حسين, if I do a GAT test, am I gonna lose a chance from my 5 قدرات chances, Mr. Hassan?
GAT is قدرات, yes. So the answer is yes.
Okay, tamam. Is there any error in the exam, GAT, because it is translated, Rola?
If she's talking about like 2018, 2019, when we start doing preparation for this test for the students, yes, I agree with that. We've seen too many problems with the translation, but we're talking about like 2023, so I believe the test now is more like official now, so there is no errors in the translations.
طيب, a question here is how important is SAT? SAT is extremely important. As I have shown you before, SAT or تحصيلي carries a very high weight in your نسبة المقبولة or the weighted average. طيب, I would like to leave the chance for you now, guys. If somebody wants to speak and voice their question, feel free to raise your hand, okay? Just click on the hand and I'm going to allow that the mic switched on so that you can ask your question. Layan, the mic is yours. Yeah, Layan.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if I can take the قدرات in English and then try Arabic, because if I didn't like my results in English.
Yeah, this has just been answered by Mr. Hassan. His answer is yes, you can. But both will be counted as attempts out of the 5 chances you have.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. طيب, we have Jury. Jury is Saleh, allowed to talk.
I want to ask about if the قدرات is like the English version is translated from the Arabic, because I heard some people say it has like a lot of grammatical errors, which can make it hard to like understand the questions.
طيب, Mr. Hassan, if you can comment on this again, if you don't mind.
I commented this saying that like in 2018, 18, 19, when the test is started, yes, I agree with that. But nowadays, the test is more accurate than before. So if there is, they're saying like there's some errors. Are they talking about errors from that same test or from تجميعات?
Because of the translation, يعني. And no, it's
Yeah, I know.
strictly translated.
If it's from the same test, so still like they're working the test, maybe they have some errors, but it's not that bad. It's not as before. So still it's not.
So it wouldn't affect my mark.
I believe the thing is like we haven't talked about this one, Jury, but the test is like the grade you're getting from the test, it's like where are you between the ones who's taking the same test with you? Okay, so if there is one problem, there is like many students, they get it wrong because of the grammatical or whatsoever, they'll take it out. Okay, if there is one problem, like many students, they get it wrong for any reason, they'll take it out. Also, the grade, it's not about how many problems you've got right. It's about where are you between the students you have taken the test. So I don't know if this is going to be clear. So what they do, it's not about average. They like go into average students for a grade. Does this make sense? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
this is like
I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
that means if you're taking the test and like if you're doing good, even if you haven't done all the problems right, you may get like higher score than you thought. Okay.
طيب. I'm going to take one more question and then we'll have to conclude. There are a lot of questions, يعني, and I feel sorry that we'll have to conclude. But our hour is almost up. So I'm going to take a question from G. G, why don't you voice your question, please?
Hello. Yeah, I wanted to ask about the book. Is there an Arabic book that's translated to English? يعني المعاصر.
Oh, you mean, okay. Qushair, I think. Go ahead, Mr. Hassan.
Okay, you've said that Qushair is translated, and also if you look for Zama and Bestgate for GAT, they have said at the beginning, some of them have said in their textbook, and some of them have said somewhere in the website, they have translated the problem from the Arabic قدرات. Okay, because as you can see, there is like lake in resources for GAT, so they go to the Arabic قدرات and take problems and translated them.
Is the book
Go ahead, G, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Is the book something that you need to like do the تجميعات and other stuff and study from it and the course? Or do I need a book?
Can I take a stab at this, Mr. Hassan?
Sure.
I reviewed all the three books myself as well, and I can surely tell you, Zama, the good thing about Zama, they provide the explanation of the answers. I think if they publish a new version in a couple of months, for example, I would recommend that you buy that book, okay? Because I'm sure they will fix all the errors in the previous version, because there were some just logical errors, يعني أخطاء مطبعية وكده. The nice thing is that they provide explanation for the answers, and I think that's something that anybody who will do the تجميعات or whatever, يعني test bank, you need somebody to tell you what the right answer is and why it is the right answer, correct? So that's something that you'll find probably very well done in Zama. Again, I'm not a big fan of any of them. All the three of them, honestly, they lack a lot compared to the Arabic ones, but the best one of them, in my opinion, is Zama. It is in so many versions, so many branches of Jarir. It is out, maybe all of them, some of them, I don't know. But once the new version is out, I recommend you couple this with a good course and a good bunch of تجميعات. Inshallah, you will be doing great. طيب, as I promised, and I want to be respectful of your time, so I'm not going to exceed the time. We started the 7:73, so I'm going to very quickly close soon. I would like to thank you all for giving us this hour, giving us this opportunity to share with you this information. I wish you really all the best in your tests. I would like to remind you that in your WhatsApp group now, the one that you have registered from, you will see the announcement or الإعلان for the course. You can register in the course, and honestly, any course. You don't have to take this one. Just don't go to the test without a course, without a book, without some really long preparation, deep preparation. This is your future. We are here giving you an option, okay? Feel free to take it or not. We're trying our best to provide a very good product. وإن شاء الله نتوفق يعني may Allah يعني help us be successful in providing the very good quality. If you are interested, there's the announcement there, and you have 3 days to leverage or to benefit from the الخصم, the discount. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best, inshallah, and we'll see you soon. يلا السلام عليكم.